Welcome to the Tesla Economist. Please hit the thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. I'm a little bit confused. I'm not sure why people still don't understand this yet. Tesla has a huge lead over everyone in EVs. Okay, sure, for lots of reasons. But there is one reason that is very easy to understand. No one else has the batteries. It would be like if Tesla owned a fast food burger restaurant, except they are the only burger restaurant that has any meat. All the other fast food restaurants that also want to sell burgers don't have any beef and need some, but Tesla controls it all. In order for the others to have any beef, they would need to start a cattle farm from calves until they grow into cows. This would take years. Meanwhile, Tesla would be breeding more and more cows for economies of scale. Tesla have the batteries, yet people try and tell me, well, actually, Toyota are entering the EV game with a less equipped, more basic EV for the masses, the Toyota BZ4X. Except when you look into it, it's the same price as the Model 3, which is not so basic. And the Toyota may be out sometime in 2022. Well, do you know what is also meant to be out in 2022? The Tesla Model 2. So anyway, even if this Toyota was so popular with Toyota buyers and was maybe a success in Japan too, then so what? We always go back to the supply issue of where are they getting their batteries? Batteries are the product at the core. It's literally the first name in the product description, BEV, Battery Electric Vehicles. Okay, Tesla's computer functionality is literally second to none, by an order of magnitude. But does that matter so much? None of the other ICE cars have anything close either, yet people still buy them. So despite that unique feature being unique to Tesla, it might not be all that matters to consumers. Some of these legacy EVs will actually sell. Consumers will choose them over a Tesla, even if they cost more too, for whatever reason. But it will be so hard for any of them to match Tesla's price tags, yet still make a profit. They need to take their target off Tesla and turn the gun around on themselves. Their competition is the remaining ICE. They aren't going to be able to take any of Tesla's market share. Their best chance is to start competing their EVs against more ICE cars. The problem is, we wanted to reach this magic number of $100 per kilowatt hour of battery cost, which supposedly is when EVs become as affordable as ICE cars. Okay, Tesla likely has surpassed that figure, but as for the rest of them, well, they simply can't put up a good enough product offering in the way of EV compared to what's available in ICE. Until, of course, the tax credit. This is Legacy Auto's chance to really compete against the ICE cars. This enables them to drop their prices enough to come in at a similar level and possibly break even, or maybe even make a profit. Oh, right, but then there aren't enough batteries still. It's going to take years for Legacy Autos to secure enough batteries. You hear about GM building enough battery factories for 70 gigawatt hours in a partnership with LG. At least if they're partnering with LG, then the batteries should be safe. For starters, this is just a factory. Where are they going to get the raw materials? Tesla was ahead of everyone here and managed to secure it from the mines. GM won't be the only one who suddenly wants more lithium, nickel and manganese, or even cobalt. Yes, I would imagine they're likely to use similar battery technology as Tesla's 2170 batteries. These are known as lithium, nickel, manganese, cobalt oxide, or NMC batteries. This is going to be the battery technology that these legacy companies invest. Except all these materials are going to be in massive demand as a result of the entire world essentially moving over to battery storage for energy. Tesla has been using these batteries for 5 years, yet it's still going to be better than what most of the others have. 4680 form is just not going to be achievable for any of them. Oh, by the way, these factories are about $2.3 billion each. They're going to be a similar equivalent footprint per kilowatt hour output as Tesla's Giga Nevada, likely using the wet slurry technique too. To give you an idea, Tesla's 4680 batteries will likely require nearly 1/10 the size for the same output. Okay, so GM think they can reach 70 gigawatt hours a year in batteries. Well, how many cars is that? It's actually 1 million cars. Well, 1 million normal cars. The Hummer will likely need 3 times as much. Therefore, with the tax credit, and if GM manage to secure the battery materials and at a reasonable price, then they may be able to compete with their ICE vehicles. Except GM are still likely not making much money on every car they sell. they still have that pesky dealer commission to contend with. It really gets in the way of margins. On the other hand, if they didn't have dealers, who else would sell their cars for them? Oh, and GM won't even have this level of battery production until the end of 2023, which is likely going to end up being sometime in 2024. And then they probably have some work on ramping up. In the meantime, if you were a shareholder of GM, you might hope they're actually currently designing some new EVs, built entirely around the batteries, electric from the ground up, and built in a way that they're able to mass manufacture. But of course it's GM. That's not what they're going to do. They're likely going to launch 10 or so different EV models, therefore missing out on any form of economies of scale, rather than perfecting one affordable EV that they might actually find a niche for. So in other words, by around 2025, GM has the potential to be at around 1 million electric vehicles a year. Now we're expecting Tesla to not be far off achieving 350 gigawatt hours a year of battery supply by 2025. This is calculated at 50% growth, assuming 100 gigawatt hours for 2022, and that would be just in-house, potentially almost the same again from their suppliers. And of course, Tesla's batteries go that much further. Well, yes, literally they do, but I mean economically too, as in a 50 kilowatt hour battery from Tesla might get as much range as a 75 kilowatt hour battery from GM, which in a sense means Tesla have 50% more than GM just from their efficiencies. Of course, it doesn't stop there. If we say Tesla at 500 gigawatt hours a year in 2025, including their suppliers, with 50 kilowatt hour battery pack, that's 10 million cars a year. And bear in mind, the Model 2 may very well have 40 kilowatt hour battery pack, at least by this stage. But we're talking 5 years from the 4680 reveal at this stage. What else has Tesla come up with by then? With 3 or so years of serious mass manufacturing and new factories and a Model 2, we really can only begin to speculate. GM is doing the right thing investing into batteries. It is costing them an absolute fortune to do it in this way. They won't come close to Tesla, but with the tax credits, they can come close to their ICE cars. And even at 20 million cars a year, Tesla can't make enough for everyone. So there will be a market. If GM was able to deliver a car with over 250 miles of range, and it was under a $30,000 price point after tax savings, then it might be a suitable substitute for some of their ICE cars at around the same price. The performance is not that important. I'm sure they will still go 0 to 60 under 6 seconds, which in ICE terms is actually reasonably fast. Remember, they shouldn't be looking at competing with Tesla, but cannibalizing their own ICE products instead. But most likely, they will just make electric versions of their current brands. It seems very hard for them to let go of their heritage and move into the future. All the other legacy auto companies that want to become EV competitors need to be following suit to have any chance. They're lucky enough to be making good profits while the economy is booming, that they can afford to make the necessary investments, and then lucky enough to have this tax credit. This really is their only chance to pick up whatever market share Tesla just can't be bothered with. Of course, they're going to need an enormous advertising budget to convince consumers that their EVs are worth buying too. And they would basically have to admit that EVs are the future. In other words, totally Osborning their ICE sales, which is still the heart of the business. Oh dear, I just still have not got my head around how legacy autos can survive. I really am trying every way I can think of. Thanks for listening. Please hit the thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe.